Davey Coombs to bring you the action from Millville, Minnesota, round 10 of the Chevy Trucks AMA Motocross Series. The 125's already getting ready at the gate. Stefan Roncada is the points leader, and look that, it's a dirt start. Unusual this day and age for the AMA Motocross Series. Roncada rehearsing the start here. It's so important in this game. Dan Worley helping him out, dropping the gate as he visualizes and then takes off with a practice start. He has the 35-point lead on Travis Pastrana. Pastrana, though, has been riding well, and our Davey Coombs spoke with him earlier.
All summer long in the AMA Chevy Trucks 125 Nationals, we've watched Travis Pastrana make his debut at tracks like Southwick and Washougal with overall wins. Today he gets to ride Millville for the first time. And Travis, what do you think of Spring Creek?
Man, I've been looking forward to riding Spring Creek for the longest time now. It's a very diverse track, and I love the sand whoops, so looking forward to definitely racing on it for sure.
I noticed in practice this morning you were wearing a RonRonMX.com sticker. Isn't Stefan Roncada the guy you're challenging for the national championship?
Yeah, Stefan's a great racer and a pretty good friend of mine, so he asked me to wear a RonRon.com sticker, and I said, well, sure, I'll put it on the back of my chest protector so you can read the back of it all the way to the finish line.
Well, today we'll see how it turns out. Roncada versus Pastrana at Millville.
Let's take a look at the Suzuki starting grid, starting off with the points leader in Stefan Roncada. He has dominated this year, but Pastrana is really coming on strong. Lamson in third place, but he's 65 points behind. Bolin, you never can count talent out as he challenges Lamson for that third place spot. Brock Sellards with one win on the season. Casey Johnson looking for a consistent performance. Nick Way, the winner here last year, finished 17th in the last race at Washougal. Nathan Ramsey, can't count Nathan out. Danny Smith, he's looking for a good performance. Kelly Smith, he's got one win on the season as well. Greg Schnell, one of the top privateers. In fact, he comes into this race as the top privateer in the 125 class. Roderick Tane riding with a slight injury as we go down the rest of the starting grid for today's matchup here at Millville, Minnesota. And just to show that there's no age limit, Paul Lindsay made the crowd. He used to be a team manager of one of the independent teams. Back on the track now. Brock Sellards waiting. He's got a win at Troy, Ohio. Number 18 looking for another good performance as they get ready with last-minute preparations. And Nick Way, really a terrific win here last year at Millville for his very first 125 motocross victory. All kinds of textures on this track, known for the sandy whoops, cavernous style.
And before you get to those, one of the fastest starts of the year, it takes you into a fast right-hand sweeper. Then there's the sand whoops, the top right of your screen. A lot of elevation changes here, like Glen Helen. And the lucky guy right now is Davey Coombs, who gets to take a lap around him.
Long start straight away here at Millville. I'm halfway down, fighting to begin this. Going to a sweeping right-hander. Up over the first is about 4 tabletops, or toe jumps here. They started in the back down here. A lot of sand whoops here. Over the first scoop, jumps. There we come into what's got to be the roughest part of American motocross, the sand wash here in Millville. Yeah, I think this is on top of a double film like you just saw Tom Halfmaster do over there. Maybe next time too. Going out, some steep ones, coming back in. Not quite as steep. See, get on top of them like that. So I got trouble.
Thanks a lot, Davey. That was actually during yesterday's pro practice, and they were turning short right after those sand whoops. Today they'll be going a little bit farther, and then when they come back into the section on the way back, they'll be coming in with a lot of speed.
A lot at stake for these 125 riders, especially for Travis Pastrana, who's trying to catch up with Stefan Roncada. He hasn't been quite the opportunist that he would have liked to have been, but with 6 motos remaining on the season, he still has plenty of time to challenge for the championship. Roncada number 26, Tane number 120. They're off and running. Not a very good start for Stefan Roncada. Check out the Yamaha on the inside. Greg Schnell, the privateer, gets the whole shot. Check his fuel tank for nitro. My goodness, he got a great shot.
Just about took Travis Pastrana all the way off to the outside of the racetrack. Travis did a good job to stay within the hay bales there.
That's Pastrana in second place, Buckaloo in third, Fonseca, Sellards, and Ramsey also in the hunt. But number 63, Motor World of El Cajon, an independent private team. Greg Schnell has signed up for 2 more years with them. Right now, the pressure's being applied, though. Travis Pastrana to the outside, looking for opportunity. Pastrana bar to bar. Schnell in second place. Pastrana takes over the lead. And Roncada in a difficult position. This is a great opportunity for 199, David.
Well, he still believes he can win this championship. A lot of people are going to ask a lot of points, but in one moto, you can make up so many points, especially like what you have right here with him out front. Roncada still buried in the pack.
The problem with being buried in the pack, too, is so much can happen to you. We're out in front with Pastrana. You're riding your own game.
Well, you know, I didn't make that many mistakes in my career. I made my fair share, but a lot of them were other people in front of me making them, especially when you get a bad start. Somebody makes a mistake, you're caught up in it.
So Schnell, after his first hole shot of the year, is drifting back to second as Pastrana starts to make a move to pull away. We'll be right back with more 125 action from Millville. The Chevy Trucks AMA Motocross Series is brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And by Honda, the company that defines performance on 2 wheels. Performance first. And by Suzuki, makers of innovative motorcycles and ATVs. Early in the race, the first moto of our 125s here at Millville, and already a very interesting situation with Stefan Roncada, the points leader at mid-pack, and Travis Pastrana out in front, the challenger. There have been years past where riders have caught up an amazing amount of points in a short period of time. The one I best remember, David, was back in '92 when Jeff Emig just stole the title away from Mike LaRocco in the last race.
Oh, yeah. Everyone thought LaRocco had that one in the bag, and it was a little bit of bad luck on LaRocco's part, and then a DNF that iced it for Emig. But you're right. Things can happen coming down to the wire. That's when you really start to get nervous and ride a little bit differently, try to be careful, and that's when things happen. I remember Damon Bradshaw in '89, I think. It looked like he had it wrapped up, and he got hit in the kneecap with a rock, a freak thing, and that pretty much handed the title to Kudrowski. Right
now, Schnell is in a good position, but he's got some callers coming on behind him. Schnell coming off his best career finish ever at Washougal, an 8th place finish. His best moto this year, his best moto finish was a 5th. So Schnell in good position to best that if he can hold off Justin Buckaloo, 158, and then Ernesto Fonseca with a good start. That's where the race is right now as Travis Pastrana starts to pull away.
This race right now belongs to Travis as far as I'm concerned. I don't see any way these 3 guys can do anything about Travis out front. I think they're going to continue to lose time.
Here comes Fonseca cutting to the inside. Fonseca taking over 3rd place as Justin Buckaloo, his teammate, settles into 4th. Now here's Roncada. He has moved up to double. Oh, look at back there. Steve Lampson went down in the Sandy Whoops. Lampson starting out the year with tremendous ability, getting his 21st career 125 victory in the process, but since has slipped and had all kinds of problems. Now he's got Talon Bolden of Pro Circuit Kawasaki on his heels for that 3rd place in the points. But Roncada continues to slip up through the field. He's very fast. Let's check in now in the mechanics area.
Dan, what do you think of Stefan's progress at this point?
He's just got to keep moving through people and not follow and just keep doing his own thing. He's moved through everybody really quick so far, and they did pull a bit on him. He's just got to keep pushing as hard as he can.
I saw on the board that you let him know that Pastrana's out front. Is that something you guys are looking at in every moto now?
Yeah, I was hoping that maybe we'd push him a little bit more to catch up because he could get second this moto and win the next one and still get it. He still wants to win races.
Travis Pastrana, though, pulling a huge lead here on the first moto of the 125s, David. As you can see there, 2nd and 3rd is Schnell and Fonseca. Justin Buckaloo behind Fonseca. But it's up to Travis Pastrana now to keep his pace up and not make mistakes.
Well, there's a couple of ways to look at it right now. Travis normally can outclass these guys. I don't want to take anything away from them because they're great, but if you look at Schnell's results, he's just inside the top 10 at times, and Fonseca really hasn't hit his stride in the outdoor other than a few motos here and there. Same for Buckaloo. So Travis should be able to pull away. However, if he doesn't have that pressure, it's hard to really know how fast you're going, how much energy you're using. That could allow Ron Cotta to catch these guys.
We notice Fonseca's mechanic telling him to step it up, start putting more pressure on. Fonseca really has had a tough year this year. It's been a learning year for him in motocross. His best moto finish was a 3rd place. He's done that twice this year. But he's in a great position to better that if he can just step it up as they go through those cavernous whoops.
You can see the difference in style. Everybody knows the fastest way through there is you just cross your fingers and try to keep your front wheel right on the top. That takes so much strength, and if you do happen to drop the front end down in one of those with that little bit extra momentum, it could be an endo.
Fonseca looking for an opportunity to move against number 63, Greg Schnell. Schnell's signing again with an independent team kind of surprised a lot of people because he had a lot of offers to go to factory-supported teams. He just felt more comfortable with the independent situation at Motor World of El Cajon.
I think it's just close to where he lives. He's friends with everybody. The bike's good enough. He won a Supercross on it. And, you know, a factory ride sometimes you get thrown into a mixture of people you may not be comfortable with, and it's a lot more pressure.
In fact, he totaled 2 Supercross wins this year. He was only 8 points off the championship. Here comes Fonseca. Fonseca trying to the outside, cutting to the inside, looking for the opportunity to get by Schnell. It hasn't been easy. Here comes Fonseca. The Costa Rican moves into 2nd place.
We're talking about crossing your fingers. He just headed down that hill in the air, landed right in those braking bumps, went by Schnell on the outside. So that's usually where you least expect to be passed. Have some guy come right around the outside of it. You think you got the best line.
Fonseca in good position to best his overall. His best so far this season was a 5th, and that happened at Troy, Ohio. Let's check in once again with Davey Combs. Davey?
Before the first moto began, 2 things are apparent here at Millville. Number 1, Stefan Roncada had problems with his knee. Tweaked it on Thursday. He had an orthopedic surgeon here to work with him on it. That word got back to the Suzuki pits and Pastrana knew it. The second thing that was obvious is that Pastrana is in love with this track. He says it reminds him of Washougal, even Southwick, and those are the only 2 tracks this year Pastrana has overall wins coming into this race. Today might be the day for Travis to take a big chunk out of Stefan's points lead.
Thanks, Davey. Oh, Nick Way's down, number 23, last year's winner. In fact, it was his first and so far only win in the 125 motocross scene. And he did it with a 1.5 last year, winning his first moto of his career. Stefan Roncada up into the top 10, but Travis Pastrana pulling away here for the 125. It's the first moto for the 125s in round 10 from Millville, Minnesota. Our leader, by a long shot, is Travis Pastrana.
Look how fast this guy's charging around this racetrack. Look at that, just laid over, almost dragging the handlebar or the handguard, peg, just going up. That's how you go around that corner fast. He's not just doing it there, he's doing it everywhere around this track.
Tries the sandy whoops, and Davey Combs is with his mechanic now. Davey?
Well, Lee, we knew coming in this morning that Travis liked this track, but wow, looks like he's in love with it.
Yeah, he said right away after practice on Saturday that he loved the track. It suits his style. And then this morning he said, you know, the whoops were good and he loves that. He's just having fun.
Yeah. The word in the pits coming in this morning was that Roncada had a little bit of a tweak to his knee. With him back outside the top 10 right now, are you going to let Travis know to really pour it on?
Yeah, Travis will give it everything he's got, just like he always does. And, you know, can't take anything for granted with Roncada. He's riding good. He'll come through the pack, I'm sure. And Travis will just have to ride his own race.
Roncada right now running alongside or with Casey Johnson right in front of him, number 26, Roncada. And here is Nathan Ramsey. Ramsey making a move on Justin Buckaloo. Nathan Ramsey, who has had such a down season both in Supercross and Motocross, is starting to come on strong, getting good starts at the tail end of this motocross season. Looking right behind Buckaloo. That's a pro circuit sandwich right now with Talon Folan, number 711.
Ramsey just comes in here on the inside, had a little bit more momentum off the jump. Went right for the inside. Buckaloo really didn't make a mistake there. He just took a wide line, left the door open.
One thing Buckaloo's got his mind set on doing, and that's improving his conditioning so that he doesn't fade during these motos. He's been known this year to have good starts, just like Ramsey. Roll into the inside. Just can't quite get by Buckaloo this time. You can see they're quite a ways away from number 18 on the Honda, the FMF Honda, and that's Brock Sellards. Here's the battle, though. Talon Volan, Justin Buckaloo. Volan looking for the opportunity. Can he pass him? Maybe after they come out on this downhill. There goes Volan. Volan rides with a lot of gusto. Boy, you never give up on him.
And, you know, the downhills, especially as rough as these are, and as hard as it is to get stopped for that small little rut at the bottom, that's where he does so well because he doesn't have any fear. He just takes off over the top going, I hope I make the turn. He usually does.
He's coming off his 5th podium of the season. A good performance at Washougal. And here's Greg Schnell, number 63.
He's hanging tough. You know, sometimes you see a guy like that that's not the kind of guy you see up there every week knocking on the door, but you get a great start and you think, well, he'll be up there for a while, but then towards the end I expect him to fade a little bit. He hasn't faded. He's got some talent back there and they're not pressuring him. He's not having to hold up. He's holding his own.
His only problem being that Talon Volan and Nathan Ramsey are right behind him, that pro circuit team. You can catch, push. That's what the sign says from the mechanics area. Oh, Nathan Ramsey with a big fish tail.
That's a scary section. You're going so fast through there, and you're always in a corner. So if you hit one bump wrong, chances of an endo right there are pretty high because your bike starts to swap side to side. Then you get into this section. You don't get a chance to catch your breath here either.
Schnell, Ramsey, Volan. What's at stake for Volan besides pride? Well, he'd love to catch and pass Steve Lampson in that 3rd spot in the championship points race. And with Lammy having his problems, Volan's got a good shot at it. First of all, he's got to get by his teammate Nathan Ramsey.
Well, you work so hard to try to get up close, then you find out that your teammate's using all the same lines you are, and you're thinking, now what am I going to do? You're hoping for a mistake, and that's probably not going to happen. You got to force the issue. In order to do that, you got to take chances. This 125 class has gotten so deep, and so much talent clear outside the top 10. It's really tough to move your way through the pack unless you just have an extraordinary day.
This course is so challenging for these riders, and it is a very muggy day in Minnesota right now.
Well, that's why it's important. I like the attitude of Roncada, his mechanic. Just stay on it. Keep pushing. Try as hard as you can to win these races. And especially at a day like this, as hot and as rough as it is, the harder you try, the more these guys start to fade towards the end. You can pass 4 or 5 guys in the last 2 laps.
Maker of champions, Mitch Payton, shaking his head after looking at the watch. He's got teammates battling it out behind Schnell.
Schnell hitting a bump right there. Couldn't get stopped. So that's the mistake that you hope for when you keep the pressure on a rider.
And so it's Ramsey in front of Schnell.
He hits a braking bump back there, hits another one. You can't get that rear wheel on the ground and slow down. He knows it's over.
So Ramsey moves into 3rd as we check out our leader, Travis Pastrana, on the Team Suzuki. In fact, that leads us into our Suzuki trivia question. Who was the only Suzuki rider to win 2 overalls here at Millville in the 125s? Back as we give you the answer to our Suzuki trivia question. It was Donnie Schmidt who won 2 overalls in the 125s here at Millville. Home track advantage, you think?
Probably helped a little bit. I think Travis is really enjoying the conditions out here. He seems to like it when it's either muddy or really slick or really sandy and rough. This track has a little bit of everything. It's very difficult to set the bike up. You see Boland in there trying to triple through there, double through there, whatever he's trying to do. And although you can do that consistently and save a little bit of energy, it's not as fast as what Travis is doing out front, just by keeping the front wheel up out of all those holes.
Talon Volan now assaulting Greg Schnell, looking for 4th place. It's not that Schnell is riding that poorly. technique-wise. It's just that the other guys are wicking it up a little bit more. As Talon Bolin tries to get by Schnell to pick up on his teammate Nathan Ramsey, who just went through the shot quickly there.
And look how clean Schnell is, and look at how roosted and sandy, and the vision of Bolin can't be as good. But he doesn't even probably feel that right now. He's just trying to get his way to the front. He can still get around his teammate Way if he can get around Schnell here.
Look at this. Bolin, just like he did before, passing on the downhill. That takes guts.
And that's what Bolin is just full of that. He's no fear on the rough, slick stuff. It was real choppy. And it's just a little bit hard to talk yourself into holding it wide open. That's where he's holding it wide open and making up time.
So Bolin obviously providing lots of action for this record crowd here at Millville, Minnesota, as we take a look at Stefan Roncada. Roncada maybe not able to catch up as quickly as he has in the past because of a knee injury that was sustained Thursday, but he's still looking good.
Oh, I can't see any flaws right here. He looks fast. Looks like he's charging hard. The lines look good. Good momentum everywhere. It's just when you don't get a great start, you're back there stuck in the pack. It's hard to really stand out.
And our leader, Travis Pastrana. He takes the white flag. One more lap to go for Travis. And a possible 5th moto win. Let's go to Davey.
Check it out down here in the pits, guys. Steve Lamson, 3rd place in the points coming into this moto, is a DNF. You see his mechanic, Davey Dye, talking to him. They seem to be pointing to the motor. Lamson with a DNF. That's going to hurt. It's going to help Pastrana's cause even more.
Yes, to possibly take a veteran like Steve Lamson, a 2-time 125 champion, maybe out of the 2nd moto as well. We'll have to wait and see. But that would be a big factor. As we take a look now at Ernesto Fonseca in 2nd place on the final lap. This would be his best moto finish of the season. That's going to be a big charge to Ernesto.
I don't know if you noticed behind Ernesto, he seemed to have that rhythm pretty much figured out, but Ramsey was swapping all over the place through there, just trying to hang on. He eventually just had to pull the clutch in, slow it down, and start over. He lost some time to his teammate.
Well, they might be teammates, but look out for Talon Bolin on the last lap. He'll go for every position possible. This is going to be a battle. A final lap battle as 1st and 2nd place pretty well defined right now. Number 199, Travis Pastrana, to the cheers of this record crowd.
Just whatever he does today is right. Everything is right. Right there, he should have high-sided over that berm a little bit, but he didn't. Heel clicker, that works out perfect. The crowd loves the guy. The bike's working. He got the whole shot. I mean, he loves this place. Seems like he can do no wrong.
Talon Bolin still looking for the opportunity to pass Nathan Ramsey as they go shooting down the hill. And here is our leader, Travis Pastrana. It's amazing to me, David, that he can take a week off, go to Las Vegas and win a freestyle event in preparation for the X Games coming up, and then come back here and take the checkered flag.
This kid is extraordinary, and I think that Suzuki and DeCoster, they realize, you know what, there's really no stopping him. Let's just let him be Travis and reap the rewards, and it's working for him.
2nd, and there's Talon Bolin, who has moved on Nathan Ramsey, moving into 3rd place while we were on Travis coming across the finish line. So it's Travis Pastrana, Ernesto Fonseca with his finest moto finish of the season, Talon Bolin, who's looking to move past Steve Lamson in the points race. A terrific race for Travis Pastrana. Davey?
Well, Travis, you told us this morning that you really like this track. Man, you were way out front.
Man, I was looking forward to this track for the longest time, and I'm so glad it built up to its expectations. I mean, it's so much fun out here. You got sand, you got hard back, lots of bumps coming down the downhills.
Well, I got to tell you, behind you, a lot of things are shaking out as far as the championship goes. Stefan Roncada did not finish in the top 5.
Yeah, that's always good. I mean, he's going to have a couple bad rides, and I'm going to have to ride like I've never ridden before to take this title, but I'm going to ride like I've never ridden before and see what happens.
How'd you feel at the end of the moto?
It's definitely a little humid, but I feel pretty good. I'm ready to go for 2nd.
Good job.
Thanks.
So Pastrana, with his 5th moto win of the year, wins it by almost 20 seconds over the 2nd place finisher, number 28, Ernesto Fonseca. Let's go back to Davey.
Ernesto, I know that was a hard-fought 2nd place. You threw your Oakley goggles off about halfway through there. You had to ride without any vision. Good job for second.
Yeah, it was kind of hard to ride without goggles, but you know, they helped me throughout the first half of the race, and I think that was matter. I needed to get past Bucklew and Schnell, and after that, I think I pretty much had a clear track. And my bike's running great. My mechanic, I want to thank him. He's doing an awesome job, and I want to thank Yamaha Troy.
How do you like the track here today? I mean, we've seen you finish second and third before in motos, but you really had a nice pace today.
Yeah, I feel really good today. It feels like, you know, like the old Ernesto. I feel pretty good. I got a good start, and I just try to ride smooth and don't make any mistakes. It's getting pretty rough, and it's hard to keep it on two wheels.
Good job.
Thanks.
Ron Cotta loses a bucket full of points to Pastrana as the 125 race tightens. Coming up next, the 250s. Can Ricky Carmichael win a fourth straight event? Minnesota, round 10 of AMA Motocross action coming to you. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Davey Coombs bringing you the action as we take a look at the 250s. Getting ready at the gate, David Villeman putting on an inner glove before the actual racing glove. There's Mike LaRocco, fifth in points. Shane Drew starting number 21 for Sebastian Tortelli. I'm not sure that the ankle is all healed yet, but he's had ankle problems and a week off to rehabilitate a very sore ankle. The riders now are looking forward to taking a look at the track before the gate drops. There's Kevin Windham, number 14, and number 4, Ricky Carmichael. What a season he has put together. He's trying to become the second athlete to win a 125 championship and come back the very next year to win a 250 championship. His bike's ready to go. For more insight, let's go to Davey.
Just about every fan of motocross knows that Millville means whoop, so we decided to get with Ricky Carmichael's mechanic, Chad Watts, for this week's Kawasaki bike setup. Chad, what do you do to set the bike up for these whoops?
The best thing is to have a good rider, first of all. But here you would tend to stiffen the front and soften the back, but there's so many kickers this year going in the corners because of the dirt here that the whole bike's actually a little bit softer than it normally is here.
What about the gearing and the motorcycle and also the tires?
Gearing pretty much the same all year. Jetting is the biggest thing because there's so much moisture in the air here due to humidity that we've had to change the ignition around a little bit and lean it out. And as far as tires, it's loose on top but hard on the bottom, so we're using like an intermediate front and rear Bridgestone.
That's what Carmichael's going to be doing today here at Millville, and that's this week's Kawasaki bike setup.
Thanks, Davey, as the record crowd awaits the 250s. Ricky Carmichael looking for his fourth straight overall, his second moto win in a row. He's pretty well taken away from the point situation from Tortelli, who's next to him on the grid. Windham and David Villeman. Mike LaRocco, he's coming off a sixth-place finish at Washougal. Greg Albertine, who's announced his retirement earlier in the season. This will be his final AMA motocross season. Robbie Raynard, Larry Ward, and a new face. His first race since Southwick, early June. Ezra Lusk is back in the lineup. As we look at the rest of the 250 starting grid, Shane King, the former 500 GP champion. Kyle Lewis is your top privateer so far this year in the 250s. More about the guy who had to qualify earlier today, Davey.
Down here on the starting gate for the first 250 moto, you'll see number 11, Ezra Lusk, is back on the circuit after taking some time off for that wrist injury. His left wrist has been bothering him. Ezra says his wrist is not 100%. However, he wants to come out and try and help Tortelli. Two guys not on the starting gate in this moto are Tyler Evans and Phil Lawrence. Both riders were disqualified after they had an altercation during the morning qualifying. AMA Pro Motocross manager Duke Finch came over and said, guys, pack it up. You're both done for the day.
Ricky Carmichael with a 22-point lead, the biggest lead so far of the season here in the 250s over Sebastian Tortelli, Kevin Windham, David Villeman, and Mike LaRocco rounding out the top 5 as we get ready now for round number 10 of 250 motocross action from Millville. 30-second board is up. Let's get nervous time. It's going sideways. There's Carmichael on the inside next to Windham, and Tortelli is next to Windham along with LaRocco. They're off and running. A good start by LaRocco, but it is down, sweeping to the outside, and Carmichael gets the whole shot credit. Ricky Carmichael, the whole shot, but he's got to battle down with John Dowd. Dowdy, number 16.
Carmichael just blew by Dowd. He took a big chance around that right-hand sweeper, just slammed through all those holes, and then just accelerated around that left-hand corner. He's pulling away now.
Carmichael, Dowd, Larry Ward. Hey, there's Ferry and Kyle Lewis, the top privateer. This credit Team Kawasaki with the whole shot, not just Carmichael.
Yeah, they all got a great reaction out of the gate, but obviously got some horsepower because that's one of the longest starts of the season. One of the first starts they've seen in a while that's not cement. These guys all hooked up.
Well, Ricky Carmichael is wasting no time in garnering a fine lead here in the first 250 moto.
That's fast. I've been around that corner, and I know fast when I see it. He never let off. He wants to win so bad.
One of the finest starts of the year for Ferry of Team Chaparral Yamaha. The last year that Chaparral will field a team, and so Tim's looking for a job. But he's had a good, consistent year around the top 10. Carmichael, Dowd, Ward, and Ferry, the top 4.
It's a shame to think that a guy with the kind of talent Ferry has is looking for a job. Look at this. All Kawasaki guys is following Carmichael. Whichever line he's taking, we'll just follow you. They all take the exact same line. I don't think they're going quite as fast. Ferry over there in the middle from Florida knows how to ride through the sand whoops. I expect him to be able to move up. I don't know about Dowd, but he should be able to get around Ward.
Tortelli not that far away should Carmichael falter.
Of the two riders, Dowd and Larry Ward, Dowd's a little bit better in the sand, and he's done well here before.
Boy, if Tortelli ever gets a shot up at those two guys, Dowd and Ward are not easy to get around.
No, and they're going to make it even tougher to protect their teammate out there.
So it's Carmichael, Dowd, and Ward with Tortelli in 7th. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Millville as Ricky Carmichael continues to tear up the track out in front of our first moto of the 250 action, but the battle is behind him for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Right now it's John Dowd, Larry Ward number 10, and Tim Ferry number 15. Ferry, the underdog of the 3, takes it in the whoops. Ferry's always been good at the sand coming out of Florida. He proved that at Daytona once on a 125, and he's just done very well here at Millville as well. Ferry moves into 3rd with his next target, John Dowd.
The way Ferry's moving through these loops and around the rest of the track, for that matter, the good start he's gotten, it looks like he can be able to get around Dowd. I don't know if he can catch Carmichael out front, but if he can put that Chaparral Yamaha up in 2nd, those guys will all be proud, and that'll help him at the bargaining table when he tries to get himself a ride for next year.
Tim Ferry in 3rd. The former 125 East Supercross champion. Won that year with just pure consistency, as he never had a victory on a race, but was runner-up in almost every other one. All but one.
Well, how demoralizing is it when you're in a tight battle for 2nd? You have 3 guys up there, 2 really now, and you look over across the track and Carmichael's gone. I mean, pulling away 2 seconds a lap. That's embarrassing. Watch Ward here. He drops all the way down into the bottom of these loops. Now, that's good for timing, but as far as going fast, Ferry's got it going on. See how flat he stays? Keeps that front wheel right at the top. Never drops down in.
So Ferry now between the Team Kawasaki sandwich as he tries to pick up on John Dowd.
These guys are going fast. Art, I've seen this, I've watched it, I've breathed it for years, and every year they just raise the bar a little higher.
That gives us a good indication as to how far ahead Ricky Carmichael is already here early in the first moto. Carmichael coming over the hill, and where's number 2? 2nd place, there it is. John Dowd, he gets a little wide, and Tim Ferry, that's the break Ferry was looking for, cuts to the inside. So Tim Ferry, the best position he's been in all year.
I'll tell you what started that, in my opinion, was the pressure that Ferry was putting on Dowd, and of course Dowd had tried to do something a little different and kind of go outside that comfort zone. He got a little squirrely off the jump. It was all Ferry needed. Now, you just see Carmichael going by at the top of the screen. It'd be smart for Ferry to try to latch on to him, not worry about these guys anymore, so he can go out there and catch Carmichael. Both these guys from Florida.
There's Larry Brooks on the top of the hill off to the left here screen, cheering Tim Ferry on, as of course Tim Ferry's the only bike in the Chaparral semi-truck right now, with Jeremy McGrath only doing Supercross. There's Mike LaRocca, number 5, and Tortelli, number 21. Tortelli with Team Honda. The Amsoil Honda of Mike LaRocco.
Here's two workhorses. These guys have come through the pack, work hard, ride in pain, with injury. They've done it all.
We've got to take a break as the battle with Tortelli and LaRocco continues on.
Do you drive to Tyson's Corner or further to receive service for your European-made car? Why, when the European Service Center is right here in Leesburg? Locally owned and operated, European Service Center has over 30 years experience, specializing in repairing those autos made by Jaguar, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Saab, Volvo, and Porsche. Our factory-trained technicians can take care of all of your car's mechanical needs, from routine service checks to major repairs. Stay right here in Loudon. Bring your car to European Service Center for personal quality service.
ProFit Ski and Skate. Everything you need to hit the slopes or the pavement.
Sure, we all receive fan mail occasionally, but there are some sports center anchors who average a bag or two a week.
Thanks for the letter. Hugs and kisses. Melissa Stark.
The rest of us just try to help out when we can. You know, lighten the load.
Dear Fred, thanks for the letter. Hugs and kisses, Melissa Stark.
Back of the first moto of 250 action, Ricky Carmichael is starting to check out, even though it's early in the moto. But Sebastian Tortelli, who's trying to catch Ricky Carmichael in the points battle before the end of the season, with very few motos left, is on a chase right now behind Mike LaRocco. Mike LaRocco, number 5. He's been tough all year long, despite not having a win and only one podium. Mike LaRocco has only had one double-digit finish, and that was at Mount Morris. Here's Mike LaRocco going against Larry Ward, making it look easy to the inside. Ward giving him all kinds of room, and Tortelli will probably be knocking next on the door.
Well, he saw that pass made, and if Ward takes the same line the next lap, if Tortelli hasn't gotten around him already, he's going to go for the same thing. These guys just picking on Ward right now. It's not that Ward's riding poorly, he's riding fast. It's just that Tortelli and LaRocco are animals out there. Look at it. LaRocco just out jumps him right here. Position, Ward's like, no way I'm going to the inside. We're both going down if I lean into that berm.
There's Ward number 10 and Tortelli number 21. Still not that far away from LaRocco, so it's a good three-way battle. Let's go to the mechanics area.
Shane, Carmichael got the kind of start that's got to hurt you guys. Sebastian's got to move now.
Yeah, Carmichael got the start that we needed, but we didn't get it, so just got to work his butt off the next 20 minutes, see what happens.
I know this is Sebastian's first time to actually race on this track. How's he like it?
He likes it a lot. His ankle's still bugging him a little more than he wants to let on, but you can tell it's hurting him a bit. But that he's not going to use it as an excuse.
Is the best you can expect in this moto to just get up second, try and start with Carmichael in the second moto? Do you think Sebastian will just go wide open to the end?
Well, I know he's going to go as fast as he can right to the checkered flag. If we can catch Ricky or not, probably not at this point, but he'll give it everything he can. I know that.
While we were talking to Shane, his rider, number 21, Sebastian Tortelli, went ahead and passed Larry Ward and is now in 5th. There he is, number 21. And there's Ward with another battle on his hands.
Boy, Villeman just dove in there. Took advantage of Larry Ward, just kind of cruised into that corner a little bit, going, you know, this is one place on this track where I can catch my breath. And he paid the price. You can just never rest out here. You're either in a battle with the track or with another rider.
The battle for 4th is on, and it's a speed battle. It amazes me how much speed these guys get on such a difficult track.
Especially when you come out of a corner like that in second gear, and you've got to pick up the pace through a section like this. Every lap you come to the corner just before, you're like, oh, here we go again, you know, and you never really know how it's going to turn out. You're pretty much just hoping.
Because then after you get through the sandy whoops, you got the elevation changes to deal with. It is never ending. Mike LaRocco, Sebastian Tortelli. LaRocco in fourth. John Dowd is right in front of him. And Tim Ferry and Carmichael are pretty well pulling away, although Ferry is still a long way away from the leader.
Well, in certain sections of the track, Tortelli can see up to Ferry. That at least gives him a little inspiration, knowing that if he can really click off some fast laps and hopefully wear these guys down slightly, let his fitness come into play, which who knows how much of it he's got.
Down making a mistake down at the bottom of the hill. LaRocco was not in good position to take advantage of it, but he also was not right behind him to get in the situation.
No, but I'll tell you what, every time down that hill from now on, Dowd's going to be worried about it. Watch him coming down. He's a little bit squirrely all the way down, a little bit of front end shake. He hits that one bad bump, boom, the other way. He's supposed to be making a right. He's going left. It's so hard to stop for these corners with all those braking bumps going down the hill. We already heard Travis talk about how rough they are, and if he's worried about it, you know it's bad.
So LaRocco now starting to put pressure on John Dowd for third place. Ricky Carmichael is way out in front. Tim Ferry riding a safe race right there in second so far. He can't afford a mistake, though. We'll be right back. First Moto 250 action. Ricky Carmichael is our leader, but the battle is on right now between John Dowd and Mike LaRocco, and Tortelli right behind him. Third, fourth, and fifth position. LaRocco tries to the inside, but he can't quite get the speed on the corner. LaRocco just seeking opportunity right now, looking for the edge to make the move on John Dowd.
And John's got to be feeling all this pressure.
Down the hill we go, and LaRocco with the inside charge. Gutsy move from Mike LaRocco. Tortelli, he's trying to pick up on Dowd as well.
That downhill was a weakness for Dowd. I think LaRocco could really sense that. He went for it. Positioned himself to the inside. Of course, John gets Dowd coming down the hill. He hits one bad bump right here. Does a nosedive, then bottoms the forks out right there. Bends both wrists backwards. That's the second time down the hill that he's hit some bumps and ended up to the outside line. And Tortelli's back there going, maybe I could be next if it's not the sand whoops before that. So Dowd's struggling right here, but he's still trying as hard as he can.
Looking back at Tortelli. Boy, he's lucky he didn't have 14 stitches on his chin on that one.
Yeah, that's when chest protectors and full face helmets and crossbar pads really come in handy. When he slow-mos that stuff, you can see how bad it is.
Right behind Tortelli, a fellow Frenchman, David Villemin, who's picked up the pace. Villemin, it's also his first look at this track. Here comes Tortelli. Tortelli moves to the inside now. Dowd not willing to give up right now to see what happens in the whoops. Here comes Villemin making a move on Tortelli. David Villemin takes advantage of a rough whoop section.
Well, the corner at the approach right there looked like Tortelli was going to try to do something, guessed wrong, and got kind of fouled up in the berm, lost all his momentum. And if you don't head into that section with momentum, there's no way you can build it through there. Not like Villemin did.
What an opportunist, David Villemin. In his first full 250 season in America, got back up on the podium the last race for the first time since Mount Morris. And he's looking for a podium here today. There's no question about that. Tortelli hanging with him.
Look at that. The way Villemin goes up the top of that hill, he just decides, you know, I'll just carry that front wheel a few feet farther, wheelie over all those braking bumps, make the corner that much easier. The guy rides so smart. He's so heads up as to where the bumps are, how to miss them all.
Villemin, once he sees this track a second time, is going to be awfully tough as we take another look.
I see Tortelli was trying to do something. Dowd kind of stuffed him right there. He didn't do anything wrong. It's just Tortelli kind of found himself in a bad position. Now he's got to go up and down, while Villemin was just flying through there flat.
David, while we're in that replay, Villemin has passed Dowd now. You think, David, that once he gets another look at these tracks, this is his first look at this track, for instance, that he is really championship potential?
Absolutely. I mean, if you just kind of erase Southwick and you had the clutch problems and a first turn crash at Budds Creek in the mud race, I mean, that really, in my opinion, was a turning point in his series where he lost his head just slightly and kind of fell out of it. But once he gets the experience You saw what he did in the Supercross series. He can do that outdoors.
Boy, what a great Supercross series that was. There is, you see another pass by Tortelli. Tortelli getting in front of John Dow. Dow has been peppered with assaults here in this first Moto of 250 action from Millville. There's Mike LaRocca, number 5, and Villeman is following him through the whoops with Tortelli behind him.
Each year that main line through there changes slightly. Here's another look at Tortelli getting around Dow. Just goes down to the inside. Nothing Dow can do about it. Tortelli just charged through there a little bit harder. Every point matters. Here's Lusk. He's just kind of get himself back into shape, get the feel of racing again. It's been so long.
Currently in 11th place. Ezra, of course, stating earlier that he wasn't all the way back as far as his injury is concerned.
You can actually tell by the way he's riding. He's not out there trying to win. He's out there just going, he needs to get a couple of motos in the bank. A little confidence going. You know he's going to be tired because he hasn't been able to train at race pace. And this is one of the roughest tracks of the year.
And he's only run 4 races all year long. Here's Villeman and Tortelli going at it right behind LaRocco. Boy, we might have 3 bar to bar here. LaRocco, Villeman, LaRocco. What a move by David Villeman. Very smooth. And let's see what Tortelli decides to do. He's going to take on LaRocco next. What excitement from Millville. Tim Ferry still holding on to second behind Carmichael. Number 15, Tim Ferry, Chaparral Yamaha, is in second place. Ricky Carmichael has checked out on him, but really, Tim Ferry has done a fantastic job in completely separating himself from third place. It's the final lap, the white flag lap for both of them. Tim Ferry looking for his best moto finish ever.
I'll tell you what I like about Ferry's ride here is that once Carmichael pulled out that little bit of lead and he got into second, that lead hasn't really changed much. Ferry's pretty much matched his pace from here on out. That lets me know he is definitely going fast enough to be a contender for the overall should Carmichael not get that great of a start in the next one.
Carmichael has had just an incredible motocross year. Opened the season with a win, dropped to 4th in the standings, came back to take the points lead at round 5, lost it again, got it back again, and then is on a great charge. And entertains the fans back in '98 when he had a big lead, but whoa, hold on, Betsy. He got up and got back on the bike, restarted the bike, and still won the race.
That's got to be a little embarrassing. But he still won it, and I don't think you'll see that much out of him today. Yeah, just a simple wave will do. And you know what? As a matter of fact, I haven't seen him show off all that much this season. He's been all business in this outdoors.
You're right, all business, very serious, as he's just been like a blue-collar worker going to the construction site. The checkered flag for Ricky Carmichael, not only setting himself up for a possible 4th win in a row, but also a 4th championship in a row. In second place, Tim Ferry. You know, what surprises me right now is to see how close everybody was. Villeman just went by Tortelli in 4th. So it's Carmichael, Ferry, and Villeman the top 3, with Tortelli and LaRocco rounding out the top 5. Former winners here down in Raynard having some problems. Let's go now to Davey.
Ricky, that looked like some of the second motos we're used to seeing you ride. You get those monster hole shots and pull away. You usually save that for the end of the day. Here at Millville, you're starting out fast.
Yeah, I did, Davey. I tell you, my Kawasaki hooked up great. I couldn't believe it, and hope I didn't jinx myself for my patented second moto starts. And I'm gonna try to do the same thing. And you know, I'm just out there trying to ride my hardest. I ain't out there to have no strategies or nothing with the points being close. And I just been putting in some hard work. And glad to see my Floridian buddy got second behind me. That's cool. Hopefully we can go out and do the same thing again next moto.
Well, not only did you have Tim Ferry between you and Sebastian Tortelli, David Villeman got 3rd. That's 7 more points towards the championship. You've got more than a moto lead now.
Well, that's nice to have more than a moto lead just in case anything happens, you know. And, you know, I'm trying not to worry about that. I'm just, like I told you earlier, I'm just trying to win every moto and or win as many motos as I can and get the whole shots. And that's what I'm out there to do.
And his Floridian buddy just posted his best moto ever in his career, a 2nd place behind Ricky. Tim Ferry. Back to Davey.
Tim, your mechanic, Jerry Campbell, said ever since Washougal, he's been trying to beat it into you. Get those starts, get those starts. This shows you what happened. 2nd place here in the opening moto.
Yeah, I felt pretty good. I actually thought I was going to have that start, but Ricky kind of snuck around me on the outside. But I'm pretty pumped because I've been coming out outside of top 10 every moto.
I noticed toward the end of the moto, there was this monster struggle behind you with all the big hitters, Larocco, Villeman, Tortelli. You rode your own race and just didn't seem to let that even bother you. In fact, they never gained any ground on you.
Yeah, they stayed pretty close. They caught it for a little while, but they were dicing so hard that, you know, it's hard for them to go forward, and I was just kind of cruising around in second.
One more moto to go. How'd you feel at the end of this one?
I felt pretty good. I was a little bit tired. I haven't been running that pace up front for a while, so a little bit tired, but I should feel pretty good for the second one.
And also, you helped your friend Ricky Carmichael by finishing between he and Tortelli as far as this championship goes.
Yeah, I seen some people in the back waving me on, trying to tell me to stay in front of them, but you know, that's him and those two are racing for a championship. I'm just racing to you know, finish in the top 3.
Well, good job in this moto.
Thank you.
So after the fine performances in the 250s, we look forward once again to go back to the tight points race between two good friends, as you can see here. Stefan Roncada on the right and Travis Pastrana on the left. It's all coming up next from Millville, Minnesota. A Motocross Series is brought to you by Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles and ATVs. As the 125s get ready for their second moto, the fans asking, hey, can this kid, Travis Pastrana, win 2 in a row and tighten up that points race even further? He's certainly loose, that's for sure. Today's Suzuki profile centers on a Suzuki rider named Brandon Jessamine. For Brandon, the 2000 season has been a breakthrough year for the second-year pro.
I've been waiting my whole life to get up here and, you know, win these nationals, and fortunately I didn't win one yet, but I feel it's going to happen pretty soon.
The 18-year-old has a right to think that his time is about to come. At Redbud, he finished 4th. Then 2 rounds later, he took his first career podium at Troy, Ohio, with an 8th and a 2nd for a 3rd overall.
In the first moto, I got a bad start, came up to 8th. In the second moto, I got a great start. I ended up leading the thing for about the whole race, for about except the last 5 laps. And unfortunately, Brock was riding really good, but I learned from my mistakes and got here and showed it to him.
The Troy track was only a 5-hour car ride from his Pennsylvania home, so all of his friends and family had an opportunity to cheer him on.
Yeah, there's tons of my fans and everything there. It felt so great riding up front. I heard the fans screaming around all the turns, and it was just the most awesome feeling in the world you could get.
With his success this year, Brandon's quick to give credit to the folks at Suzuki for their support in the 125 program.
Yeah, Bill Pipe Suzuki, I mean, they put 100% effort into it. We got great support from Suzuki, getting our bikes working really good, and everyone's backing us to do really good, and we just got to go out there and show them what we can do with it.
Well, the pressure's got to be on a little bit. Stefan Roncada, with the way Travis Pastrana performed in that first moto. Pastrana just dominating things. If he should do the same here, boy, we've got a real battle in the last 2 races of the season.
And it is hot right now. These guys got to be thinking, I can't believe I've got to go hard for 30 minutes. It's sweltering out there. These guys mechanics trying to keep the riders cooled off, and it's not working.
30-second board goes sideways, 5 to 10 seconds. That gate will drop, and our second moto of 125 action will be underway. Who will get the hole shot? Stefan Roncada, not a very good start once again, but the hole shooter is Justin Buckaloo. Pastrana is right there. Uh-oh, Kelly Smith. Danny Smith holding his arm, and it looked like Preston involved in that crash. But Buckaloo is our leader, with Pastrana once again in good position in second place. Right there is Nick Way, last year's winner, in third. Fonseca, Fulton, and Ramsey also in good position.
But the more good news for Travis, great start. He's got to feel like before this moto's over, he can move around Buckaloo, and Roncada is buried in the middle of the pack.
Roncada avoiding the first turn pileup, so he's in about 13th, though, right now. The interesting focus here is that Justin Buckaloo and Travis Pastrana were childhood rivals. In fact, Pastrana credits Buckaloo with being a faster rider than he is.
No question, Buckaloo is a talented rider. I think when you listen to Travis, some of it, what he says is accurate, but I think a lot of it's just being polite. He always has good things to say about his competition.
Buckaloo, of course, coming back from injury last year, doesn't have the endurance factor that Travis Pastrana holds right now. But number 158, Buckaloo, is out in front in moto number 2. Pastrana won the first moto. He's in second place behind number 158, Justin Buckaloo, here in the second moto. He is poised to take a lot of points away from Stefan Roncada, who's back at about 12th right now and trying to fight once again his way up through the pack.
You know, for Travis, as long as he doesn't get a lot of pressure from behind, it's probably not too bad of an idea to stay just out of Ruth's way from Buckaloo, because they watered the tracks pretty heavy between motos, and if he was to try to stay right in there on him, he'd be plastered with mud by now. And you'd only have a tear-off or two left for the whole rest of the race. So let a lap or two get in the books, let the track get worked in, then make your move.
Our Suzuki stopwatch is going to show us how close this freight train really is. 5 seconds, and we're back to 5th and 6th place. 7-11 Talon Bolin, who made that great charge at the end of the last moto.
You can count on Bolin to make a charge at the end of every moto. This guy, one of those guys, I love his energy. I mean, if we had everybody in the 125 class like that, we'd have a different winner every moto. He's just so full of energy and always gives a good, exciting interview. You never quite know what's going to come out of his mouth, but he will not let Fonseca rest from here to the checkered flag.
Well, you could tell Fonseca was feeling it as he almost went off the track. Pastrana in second place behind Buckaloo. Number 28 is Ernesto Fonseca, trying to put his second good moto back-to-back.
You can see what I was talking about that little bit of extra water on the track. Bolin is just covered right now and going through all of his vision.
There you see the top 5, Bolin in 5th. And here comes Nathan Ramsey behind Bolin. Let's go down to the mechanics area and Davey Coombs.
Zach, I know that Justin had a good start in the first moto, but it was nothing compared to that whole shot in the second one.
Yeah, he's got good. He always gets good starts. He just needs the confidence to get it accomplished.
How do you get him to calm down once he's up front?
It's kind of hard. He's been riding tight lately, but I think he may be different this moto.
Maybe it's just the rookie jitters.
Yeah, I think that's all it is. But he'll do good. We'll see.
Well, what a thrill it is to be out in front leading a national moto, and this is his first season.
Roncada up to 11th, as you see there in our picture, going through the sand whoops. There's Roderick Tane, number 120. Not having as good a time today as he has in the last few races. Roncada making the move on him. There's Casey Johnson, another teammate of Yamaha of Troy. David, have you ever run hurt like he might be running right now?
Absolutely. I mean, 1983, I had broken feet, sprained ankles all year long. 85, I had a hurt wrist, sprained it a couple of times, fractured it. I mean, everybody has injuries, but it's tough when you're in Roncada's shoes and you got pressure and you got to go out and keep winning races, to preserve the title and you're hurt.
Pastrana starting to put some pressure now on Buckaloo. Buckaloo has always shown speed. He won a heat in Houston, got a whole shot at Minneapolis in the Supercross Wars. A 6th place finish in Dallas was his highest finish. But he's looking to make his mark now in motocross and hold on to that lead against one of the best rookies that this sport has ever seen.
Now I'd expect to see Pastrana get that fire lit underneath him, and now he's starting to get some pressure from Way, and like I said before, as soon as he gets pressure, he's going to apply the pressure to Buckaloo. It's about the time for Buckaloo to start getting a little nervous. Perfect timing for Travis to make a move on him or pressure him into a mistake.
Right now, Justin Buckaloo's our leader with Pastrana in 2nd. Roncada in 10th. We'll be right back. We're back at Millville, Minnesota, and the heat is on here for first place. Pastrana starting to apply the pressure to Justin Buckaloo. Pastrana, he wants the sweep here today to take advantage of the poor starts that Stefan Roncada, the points leader, has suffered. There's the move downhill. That hill is so steep. What a move by Travis Pastrana. On a one-dimensional TV screen, you can't tell how steep that hill is, David.
Well, I'll tell you how steep it is. When you come around over the top, hit that jump, you can't see where you're going. At that point right there, you can barely see the corner at the bottom. It drops away so steep. Hits all those bumps, still makes the berm in good form. Gets right back on the gas, falls right back into the line he wanted to take back up the next hill. And like I said, as soon as he felt pressure, I had a feeling he was going to go for the move, and he did.
Not only Pastrana making the fine move, but Nick Way moves into second place. Pastrana, Way, and Buckaloo, the top three right now. Let's go down to the mechanics area. Lee McCullum.
Well, Lee, this looks like a carbon copy of the first moto. Travis is out front again. Roncada is mired in traffic.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Roncada if he got a bad start. Travis got a pretty much the same start as he did the first moto. Had to ride with Buckaloo there for a little bit. He got around him. Now he's just going to have to ride his own race and hopefully pull away.
Why do you think this track suits his style so much? Is it those whoops in the back?
Yeah, he likes the whoops, and he likes the softer dirt, you know, the sandy sections. And the hills, you know, it's kind of exciting. It's not really flat, so anything with hills and a little bit of air, he loves.
One more question. Does he study these videotapes of these tracks he's never been to, or does he just show up and see what happens?
I don't know if he studies them, but I'm sure he's looked at them. You know, everybody watches the videos, so I'm sure he's looked at them.
Oh, I can tell you for sure he's looked at them, and he studies all the races, especially the tracks he's never been to, and I can tell you for a fact that my dad sent him tapes. He said, "Hey, Travis, have you ever seen David ride?" He's like, "Oh, not really." He goes, "Well, I'm going to send you some tapes of David racing at Millville, going through that big whoop section, and you can kind of get that in your head before you show up to the race." So I know he studied the track, and hey, Dad, while you're at it, send me one of those tapes. I wouldn't mind seeing it.
It's obvious right now that Stefan Roncada is having a lot of trouble getting up through the traffic. We've got some good, competent riders in front of him, like Keith Johnson and a few others, and he's not getting through the pack easily.
No, it's tough. There's so much competition out there, and also the hazards. You saw what happened to Jessamine getting into that corner. Easily could have lost the front end. If it had gone down right there, that could have held Roncada up even more.
A day uncharacteristic for Stefan Roncada, who came into this race with 4 wins, 7 podiums, and won 9 of the 18 motos so far this year. Both times getting mediocre starts, both times having a tough time getting up through the field.
On the first moto, at one point, there were 3 of his teammates were ahead of him. And I'm thinking, well, it's a little early for team orders, and plus he had a pretty good points lead. This moto, he's pretty far back, and he's losing a lot of points. Now they're starting to worry just a little bit. You notice Casey Johnson has been on his tail the whole way. I'll bet you anything Casey's not going to pass Stefan.
Not if he wants a job.
Yeah.
Ernesto Fonseca going through the picture. Buckaloo and a battle with Volan and Ramsey. They touch. Volan makes the move. Volan 7-11.
That was beautiful. He actually put his front wheel up in the grass and just kind of let the rear wheel slide. He was doing all that he could to give his teammate as much room as possible, but still make the pass. Check it out. Comes down the inside. He's trying to be nice, leave Ramsey somewhere to go, but still get that pass made. That was perfect.
Buckaloo still running a fine race, number 158. But he's got the Pro Circuit Kawasaki's right behind him. Some of those whoops wearing down a bit. Here comes Volan. Volan wants to make the move on Buckaloo. Not quite that time.
I'll tell you what, every lap of this race, of this day, Buckaloo is gaining confidence, and he is not going to be as worried about Volan as he was at the beginning of the series.
Still holding off the veteran.
And all it takes is a couple of good motos, a good start, battling with somebody, staying with Pastrana, leading the race for a few laps to build your confidence, and all of a sudden, a guy like Volan just doesn't go by like he used to.
We're seeing that happen every race, really. You've seen it in the past with RD10, the young Frenchman with KTM, who's gained so much confidence. Here's Volan starting to rub some plastic now. And Volan's got the inside edge on Buckaloo. Buckaloo looks at him and says goodbye.
So for the second time, Volan uses the very edge of the racetrack to make his pass. Look at the way he gets the rear wheel on the ground right there. Extra little bit of roost. He got about 3 more feet of the rear wheel being on the ground. That's all it took for him to get up to the inside and make the pass.
Volan, one of the tough guys, toughest guys in this business, is making progress, but not the progress that 199 is making right now. Out in front, Travis Pastrana. I've never seen Travis Pastrana so out of character than after Troy, when Roncada placed 10th and Travis picked up only 6 points on Stefan Roncada. Did not take advantage of the opportunity. Here today, he's doing just that. At one time, it looked like Roncada had this thing sewed up, a 41-point lead after Unadilla. But leave it to the exciting kid, Travis Pastrana, to put some suspense back into the title race and really tighten things up. Nathan Ramsey in 5th place. He made the move on Buckaloo, and so did several other riders.
Well, Buckaloo got a little bit of his momentum taken away in that pass by Ramsey at the beginning of the whoop section, and lost all his momentum, and everybody went by.
There's Roncada, 26. Also trying to take advantage of that as he tries to catch up with Ramsey. Ramsey on the right side of your screen, cutting on the outside of the whoops.
Looked like Johnson had a run at Jessamine right there, and Jessamine just pinned it into the berm and held on.
Brandon Jessamine, number 44. Jessamine had a podium performance at Troy, 3rd place.
Yeah, like you said, Art, you talked about guys gaining confidence. Buckaloo is just going to have to get up there, run up front a few more times before he starts to feel like he really belongs there, can stay there, and not make a couple little mistakes like he's made in this race that have cost him big.
Meanwhile, Travis Pastrana is looking to cut the points lead of Stefan Roncada in half. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Millville. Second moto, 125. Travis Pastrana. He's looking for a sweep right now. Oh, number 29, Casey Johnson going down. Just slipped out.
That's too bad. That's the hard stuff underneath the soft soil that'll catch you by surprise, and his mechanics are waiting to give him a signal. He'll have to change that now. 4 guys got by.
Nathan Ramsey, the Pro Circuit Kawasaki, number 24. Shadows starting to form on the afternoon. And there's Jessamine, number 44, in the freight train.
Everyone really starting to favor the right side of that straightaway through the sand whoops there. And last year it was on the inside, so it's usually a great place to pass, but not if everyone's starting to take one line and that gets beat down.
Pastrana still our leader as Stefan Roncada tries to make his way up through the field. And look at that, taking advantage of a Nathan Ramsey mistake. Stefan Roncada now is up to 5th place. Or every time he makes a move, it just helps his points cause. Taking another look at that pass.
He just caught Ramsey there, just kind of cruised into that berm, sleeping just a little bit. He got offline, and that's more points, like you said, Art.
It's the final lap for the festive Travis Pastrana.
He's just going to wheelie the whole. He probably could wheelie most of the way around this track. He's got a big enough lead. He can do whatever he wants here, and I'm sure the people are ready to see some of it.
If Roncada stays in 5th, but Nathan Ramsey's hounding him right now, that means Roncada would lose 9 more points to 199. Oh, he's a popular athlete. You can hear the fans just cheering for him as he heel clicks his way around. This would be his 2nd moto win in a row, and would be his 2nd overall in a row. A 3rd win for Travis Pastrana would equal his number of wins in his first year of Supercross, as he had 3 wins earlier this season in the Supercross season. And a little celebration after the checkered flag for Travis Pastrana as he sweeps Millville, his 2nd sweep of the year. Southwick was the other sweep. Nick Way, his highest finish of the year. Ernesto Fonseca, a great job in 3rd. Ramsey getting back in front of Roncada. Davey.
Travis, that's the most trouble we've seen you have all day, just getting your chest protector off. What a great ride in that second moto.
Oh, well, thanks a lot. You know, it started out a lot more competitive. Nick Way and I had a good dice going. Justin Buckaloo, who's got to be the fastest rider that I pretty much know on the 125s. He's just, you know, I've raced him. He's always beat me as an amateur. We turned pro. I don't know what changed, but he is flying the first couple laps, and then, you know, my Suzuki just pulled by him, and I couldn't ask for a better day.
Well, I'd say your rival for the title, Stefan Roncada, had problems in the second moto. Again, he only finished 6th. Altogether, you picked up 20 points today.
This is really what I needed. I'm only 15 points down with 2 races to go, so, you know, it's back into a possibility, but I'm still going to have to ride better than I have pretty much all season, so, or like I did today. So I'm really happy, and Stefan Roncada is a great rider. I expect to see him back, and I heard he hurt his knee, so he's not riding 100% today, but it'll definitely be a dice down to the finish.
Well, we'll look forward to that, and congratulations on your 3rd national win as a pro.
Hey, thanks a lot. I really like to thank my mechanic, Lee McCullum, and Suzuki for all their help.
And so the second sweep of the season for Pastrana continues to tighten the 125 points race against the 5th place Stefan Roncada. Nick Way finished in second in the second moto.
Nick, I know whenever you came into Millville, you were really looking forward to this event. This is the one national you won last year. But that first moto went awful. Way to rebound second time.
Yeah, on that first moto, I crashed on the first lap and hurt my shoulder. I was having a tough time, just keeping my bike up out there, let alone, battle Travis for the lead. But, I know I got the speed with him. I was right with him on the first few laps there. And, I'm kind of disappointed that, that had to happen when I got a start up there with Travis, so I got to prove myself. But, with my renewed confidence, hopefully I'll go into Binghamton and take a win.
I saw all the pro circuit mechanics out there waving you on. You had Boland's mechanic cheering for you. You had Nathan Ramsey's, everyone. That had to have made you feel good.
Yeah, our team's real good. Mitch and all the guys work real hard, and I couldn't have done it without those guys, sticking behind me all year. And as well as Kawasaki, Splitfire, 1-800 Collect, Chevy trucks, and Bridgestone tires.
Good job today.
Thank you.
The sweep by Travis puts him only 14 points in back of Roncada, with 4 motos totaling a possible 100 points left on the season. It's coming down to the wire in the 125s. Coming up next, can Ricky Carmichael duplicate Pastrana's sweep? We'll find out in a moment. After Pastrana's sweep in the 125s, the 250s survey the track for their final moto of the afternoon. Time for this week's Honda Profile. Last year, Team Honda's Kevin Windham finished 29 points behind Greg Albertine for the championship. This year, he's used that experience to his advantage.
Just that first race, that's all I think about as far as last year. I missed the first moto at Glen Helen last year and didn't get any points. And the second moto, my leg was hurting so bad that I was able to manage to have like 3 points or something at the end of the first weekend. In a nutshell, that was it, the first race. And it's easy to look back and point your finger at anything. I had plenty of time to make the points up, and a couple times I was right there close to the win, so close to the points lead. So there's really no excuses, but after everything pans out and you can look at the whole picture, you definitely find the 1 point of your season that you felt was the reason why you didn't win it, and that's the conclusion I came up with. And this year I'm trying to be really consistent.
Consistency is what Kevin has been, as the 22-year-old has finished in the top 5 in 8 of the 9 races, including 5 podiums. But unlike last year, when he won 4 overalls, Windham has yet to win an event.
I haven't won a race this year, which is kind of bothering me, but consistently second and third, which is all right, but not whenever you have guys like Ricky, who's consistently first and second, Sebastian, who's consistently first and second. So I need to get up there and contend with those guys.
Although he's been dubbed as the next great racer since he was named Rookie of the Year in 1994, Kevin knows he needs to win more than the 1996 West Coast Supercross Series if he's going to live up to that label.
I'm getting into the meat of my career here, and for me to fill those shoes of being the next highly talented rider who's going to come in and dominate, I need to knock some of the younger guys out of the way. Ricky being one of them who's coming up strong, and Sebastian, he's my age also. So I need to get started here before I get too old, and retirement in this sport could be right around the corner. It's primarily a young man's game, and for me to even get close to some of the records that have been set by these great riders like McGrath and all these other guys, that I need to get started now.
David Villeman at the line, as all the riders now have taken that parade lap to survey the track. You see Larocco, Robbie Raynard with Team Suzuki number 17. Number 33, the very fine privateer Heath Voss. As we go down the line, waiting for that gate to drop.
You can tell by the 3 digits and the high 2 digits that most of the favorites are lined up right there in the middle.
32nd board sideways. Carmichael to the left. Ferry to the right. Not a bad start by Ricky, but it looks like another green by John Dowd gets the whole shot. Right near Ricky Carmichael. Tortelli, Huffman, Larocco, Villeman, Shane King, they're also up there in the mix. And right away, Ricky Carmichael takes the lead away from Dowdy.
Are you sure this isn't a replay of the first moto? Because that's exactly where Carmichael made his pass. Watch him head into that sand loop section. Just attacks it.
Ricky Carmichael has got the killer instinct. There's no question about it.
I'll tell you what, if you stand next to the track and watch him go by, it's scary. It's really, it doesn't make you go, I want to go riding. It makes you think, man, that guy's nuts.
There's Sebastian Tortelli, second in the points race, getting by John Dowd, moving into second place. He wants to challenge number 4. Force a mistake.
Look at the lead already. And he's just pinned everywhere. He just positions the bike over that jump, just angles the back end out, lands in the berm, and he's pinned again. Tortelli has a good look at him, but he better pin it harder than Carmichael is, if that's even possible, if he plans on having a chance to win this race.
Dowd trying to hold on to third and catch up with Tortelli, but look at the lead that number 4, Ricky Carmichael, has already put on Sebastian Tortelli. Yes, Tortelli still has an injured ankle, but it's incredible the speed that RC is just propelling around this track.
Did you see that right there? Tortelli trying to get through that sweeper fast, and he was going fast, but all squirrely. Head shake, ended up to the outside line. Carmichael always seems to have a little bit more. Even if somebody else is holding it wide open in the same place, they're not doing it in as good of a line.
Dowdy putting the foot down to kind of duck walk down that big ridge. And Mike LaRocco's looking for a great overall finish. We'll be right back with more 250 action from Millville in a moment. Back in Millville, Ricky Carmichael is our leader, and he's pulling away. The battle is behind him right now. Let's go down to the mechanics area where Davey Coombs is seeking out Jeremy Albrecht. Take it away, Davey.
J-Bone, John Dowd, getting great starts all day long here at Millville.
Yeah, definitely. You know, his starts are really good today, and he's feeling a little bit better. He's been sick and broken back. He's had a lot of problems, and he really hasn't put it together yet, but he's looking pretty good today.
What's your guys' best goal for the rest of the season? I mean, what do you guys need to do these last few races?
Just basically wants to get better every week and show that he's, you know, up to speed, which he actually halfway through the moto, the first one, he's up to speed, so hopefully he can do it the whole moto this time.
Ricky Carmichael out in front. It's Tortelli in second, and here's the battle for third. John Dowd, number 16. Mike LaRocco, number 5. It looks like a bar-to-bar confrontation now. LaRocco with great acceleration, and he's got the inside berm. Can he get the power out of the berm? Yes, he's got the edge on Dowdy. Mike LaRocco, this is one of his favorite tracks. On the 125s, he won 3 consecutive years here, 90, 91, and 92.
Maybe we should try a 125.
now, David. Mike's got a good run going for him. He is.
Watch this pass. He just has so much more speed. Dowd looks over. Mike's like, forget about it. Takes that inside line. Same way he passed Dowd's teammate, Larry Ward, in the first moto.
So LaRocco making the pass, but Dowd has got more troubles right behind him. Number 934, David Villeman.
Look at Villeman, how hard he's trying, just shoving that bike down to the ground, trying to stay low, trying to stay to the inside.
Makes it look easy, doesn't he, David?
Well, it's really hard. I don't know if I can get that through to the people that are watching this going, well, I don't know, just take an inside line. That seems easy enough, but it's so tough to get up that hill, all that chop, then you go into the shadows. And it wasn't like Dowd was going slow. Villeman just wanted it that much more. He's trying to stay with LaRocco. Maybe they can work their way up some more.
While we're in that replay, if Tim Ferry fans note that he went down, he crashed, he's in 22nd. So that could ruin a pretty good start on the day.
Here it is again, Villeman just working so hard through that chop. Then it goes to the hard pack slick stuff. Dowd looks over, Villeman says forget about it. He's got that inside line. Dowd, you just feel bad for him because he tries so hard. He got great starts, and he just doesn't have that little bit extra it takes to stay up front, so you just know it's inevitable. You're going to get 4 or 5 guys moving around you. It's nothing worse than knowing that these guys are going to come by at some point. Or worse than that, having to ride over your head just to try to keep them back there longer.
You notice in that last shot the big gap between Tortelli and LaRocco for second and third, and then Villeman's right behind him in fourth. That's where the real battle is, and Villeman has got a Kawasaki coming up behind him.
These two guys are pushing each other so hard, they just pulled away from Dowd through the sand loops, and the sand loops used to be the place where Dowd was fast.
Absolutely. 1994, one of his 2 wins that year was right here on the 250. Took second in the 250 point standings that year. Villeman and LaRocco just going at it. Villeman taking advantage of every opportunity here today.
Tell you what, in order to take advantage of your opportunity, you've got to create it. And he's good at that. He gets up there and he puts pressure on people. He gets close enough, and he has some sort of an idea as to what line he's going to use. Watch him. I mean, this is a one-line burn, but not for Villeman. He tucks out on the inside. He takes a little bit of a risk on maybe LaRocco will get hung up in those holes. Worked perfect, and he wasn't following, made the pass.
Great anticipation and then execution by David Villeman.
Already starting to pull out a little gap over LaRocco, and that doesn't happen very often. It's usually LaRocco the one that's doing the damage.
In case you just tuned in, Ricky Carmichael ran away with the first moto, and he is running away with this one. That's the reason we're focused, and we switch to number 4, Ricky Carmichael out in front. You can hear the sound of that engine reverberate through the trees.
Hear all the space back to second place.
The silence. Chad Watts is mechanic.
He's got to be happy. That seems like a really good combination, too. Those guys both really enjoy what they're doing. I've gone out and watched them test before, and they have fun. You know, there's really no struggle there. And they both want to win. I think if Ricky doesn't ride well, Chad's already a little bit high on the tension scale, going, what's wrong with you? Get out there. They motivate each other in a way that's positive.
Well, then they lived through some trying times together very well without getting mad at each other, without throwing things at each other during that 1999 250 Supercross season.
Right, and you know what? I have a feeling there's a lot of emphasis now that he's got a pretty good lead on this National Series for the Supercross Series next year. It's like, yeah, I'm glad to win this outdoor National Series, but I bet you if you ask Ricky, he kind of expected to win this. And the Supercross is the one he really wants to win.
I hear they're gearing right now for Supercross as far as the physical training is concerned. Ricky Carmichael, number 4, continues to lead from Millville, Minnesota. So far, it's like a Sunday ride in the park for Ricky Carmichael. You got the concerned Team Honda mechanics right there. It almost makes you think that maybe something's wrong with number 21, Sebastian Tortelli's bike. The looks on their face with David Villeman really hounding Tortelli, David.
You don't see Tortelli looking back very often either. So maybe there is a problem.
And Villeman cuts to the inside and goes up that hill. Let's see if number 21 has a comeback.
If he can retaliate a little bit or stay with Villeman, then I don't know. There's probably nothing wrong, but if Villeman is able to just pull away, then I would imagine Tortelli is just trying to kind of limp this thing into the finish. Watch coming out of the corner, Tortelli makes a little mistake there. It wasn't a horsepower thing. And Villeman just pulls the tear off right in his face.
And David, during that replay, it's obvious that something has happened, I think, to Sebastian Tortelli's bike, is because not only has Villeman passed him on the replay, but also here number 5, Mike LaRocco, has just made the move into 3rd place. This could be a monumental happening as far as the points race. Davey.
Shane, from where we're standing, it seems like something's wrong with either Sebastian's body or his bike. Do you have any idea?
No, we're on the radio trying to figure it out. He was waving his hand at something a couple laps ago, but I don't know what's up, you know? He's definitely dropped off the pace the last couple laps.
When it's a situation like this, your only choice is to just wait until you hear something? I mean, do you have radios in the back, or you just got to wait for him to pull over?
Nothing really we can do. You know, if he pulls over and knows what's wrong, maybe we can fix it. But from here, there's nothing I can do. Hopefully, ride it out, see what it is when we get back to the truck.
Boy, it's got to be a tough thing for a mechanic to sit there and watch and just wonder, you know, what's going wrong. As Mike LaRocco, he's not having any problems right now.
He's flying. He's trying to get back up there to Villeman.
Uh-oh, Ezra Lusk, in his attempt to come back and get some seat time, is pulled off the track. Ezra with the wrist still sore, but wanted to get back on the bike. All he could do is sit and watch Mike LaRocco go by. And here comes Tortelli. Tortelli trying to hold off number 16, John Dowd. Ezra Lusk, as we mentioned earlier, pulling off. He was lost all for the Supercross season because he got injured before the first race. He's only raced 4 outdoors, not counting this one.
Ezra, I know that you were having problems with your wrist all summer long. You tried to come back, obviously not ready.
Yeah, it's a little bit too soon. We just thought we could come back and maybe do a little bit of shuffling, you know, and try to get in there in the mix with the guys, but I think I'm a little too early for that right now. I'm just really looking forward to getting ready for the Supercross, being totally healthy for that.
I know that we were watching a tape the other night. I forgot that you were at the Pasadena Supercross just 6 weeks before Anaheim and smoked everyone. You were ready last year, and I really hope you get back to that point come 2001.
I was ready. We're just gonna, you know, study what I did in the past few years and try to make it the best that we can. Try to make myself the best I can, and be healthy is the #1 thing. And you know, I'm ready. I really think that I can do it. You know, I think if I didn't believe that I can win, then I wouldn't be out there. And you know, once again, it's going to be, you know, Jeremy, I think, the main competition. And I think Ricky's going to be carrying some momentum from the outdoors. But I'll be ready.
Tortelli continues to labor. Getting back to Lusk, we've seen him ride with pain a lot. In 3 years ago, I think it was, in the Nationals. Well, I didn't see how he possibly could get on the track. He was in so much pain.
Yeah, he showed so much toughness and resolve. And, you know, where did it get him? He didn't win a title. And, you know, I think he realized it's just not worth it. Look at Rayner there. Gets a drive on Dowd, who made a little mistake. And the last time I raced here, I raced with a fractured wrist and I had a wrist brace on. But I was in a battle for the 500 National Championship. I had to race. If I was in Ezra's shoes, I may not have. I think he realized it's just not smart to ride with that much pain and injuries if you're trying to extend your career.
I think it's he's learned not to come back too early as we take another look at the pass.
Well, Dowd's trying to cut out of that berm, and the rear wheel just kind of hangs up on the inside lip. He gets a little wheel spin, and Raynard was just hooking up.
And Raynard now has his sights on Sebastian Tortelli in a battle for 4th. Tortelli just can't afford to lose these points, especially with a very hot Ricky Carmichael looking for a sweep out in front here for the second moto.
Now with the lead of Carmichael growing points-wise, Tortelli's got to be a little starting to lose his hope a little bit here.
As Tortelli tries to hold him off, let's go back to Davey.
Shane, did you guys ever get a signal from Sebastian of what exactly was wrong early in the moto?
No, I don't know. My guess, maybe something front brake. First I thought maybe the clutch, but I don't know. Hard to guess. I thought maybe you could tell us.
Could he have maybe damaged the disc and that made the front brake go out?
Maybe he hit the disc on something. But he did one lap, no problem, and he wasn't around any other bikes to bang off a lapper or passing somebody, so I really don't know.
Tough break, Shane.
Yeah, we'll figure out, go back and come back next week.
Well, that's one thing about the Team Honda crew and Sebastian Tortelli. They're just chomping at the bit. They don't look backward. They're looking to the future all the time. As we see, here's Greg Albertine. Albertine, who had some problems in the first moto and had to pull off. But he's making a charge right now along with teammate Robbie Raynard. The series defending champion Greg Albertine, #1. They just got by John Dowd in 17, and number 21, Robbie Raynard and Sebastian Tortelli are going at it.
See what I mean about Dowd? I mean, the poor guy has been riding his tail off this whole moto, got a great start, and it's not like he's not trying as hard as these guys. They're just better, and that just hurts.
Ricky Carmichael, who no one has seen in some time, is our leader. We'll be right back. The Chevy Trucks AMA Motocross Series is brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And by Honda, the company that defines performance on 2 wheels. Performance first. And by Suzuki, makers of innovative motorcycles and ATVs. Well, here in our second moto of 250s, Ricky Carmichael's going for the sweep. And not only this, not only is it going to be Ricky's 4th consecutive win as we see the white flag come out for the final lap, but also he'll pick up a bundle of points on Sebastian Tortelli, who's obviously had some bike problems in this second moto.
That's pretty rare these days for anybody to have bike problems, especially Honda. And we talked before about how they've just been positive and they don't want to talk about yesterday. Let's focus on next week and be positive. They've had to do that a lot this year. They've had to do it with Wyndham, with Lusk, now with Tortelli, who they really felt could win this championship, and so did I. I knew Ricky would be tough, but I just didn't think he'd have enough to beat Tortelli after what I saw last year from him. And Honda's a winning organization, though. You know, second place to them is not funny. You know, all the years I was with them, second was absolutely not acceptable, and I can't imagine what must be going through their heads right now as Ricky has replaced Jeremy outdoors and kept them back in second place again.
Ricky Carmichael could pick up something like 18 points on Sebastian Tortelli here at Millville. Back in his 125 days, he sewed up one championship with 3 races left and 2 others with 2 races left. So he's not used to going down to the last race.
Could be getting a little nervous. No, actually, like you said before, I mean, they're already starting to think about the 2001 Supercross season. So he's pretty comfortable about getting through the end of this series and maintaining his lead.
Ricky Carmichael, who just keeps pushing his name up the ladder in the record books.
And that's the same hill we got a replay of earlier. He came down and endoed. This time very carefully down the inside. No showing off. All business.
Ricky Carmichael gunning for his 7th win of the season, which is only 1 shy of the season record held by Bob Hanna. Of course, Hanna's was 8 in a row out of 9 races that year.
Yeah, I got 8 in a row in the 500s, but I didn't have quite the competition. Brock Glover was he was like 5 guys, but it wasn't Tortelli and Villeman and all the guys that he's had to deal with. This is just extraordinary.
So Ricky Carmichael will pass Ken Howerton on the all-time career list with his 33rd AMA victory. The checkered flag for Ricky Carmichael, and what a dominating victory and the right time of the year for Ricky. Carmichael, Villeman taking 2nd place, holding off Mike LaRocco. Robbie Raynard and Greg Albertine making it up into the top 5. John Dowd slipping to 6th. Let's go to Davey with our winner.
Ricky, you came in here today in a tight fight with Sebastian Tortelli for the 250 National Championship. You're going to leave here with a lead of more than 40 points. Tortelli with problems in the second moto. Once again, you just flat checked out.
Yeah, I got a great start. Chevy trucks, Kawasaki. I tell you, this thing is getting awesome. Bridgestone tires, Oakley, Fox, THQ, Schwinn, Aeronautique. I tell you, man, I've been working my butt off, Davey, and it was so awesome to get good starts today, both motos, and see my teammates up there and some new faces.
Not only did you get good starts, Ricky, you never let up either. I don't know what your new trainer, Eldon, has been working on with you, but, man, the results show.
Yeah, we've been working hard, but outdoor is kind of my knack, and I've been looking forward to it all year. And, you know, we still got 2 races left, and we're going to go out and work hard these last 2 weeks and try to win the last 2 races.
Well, good job today, Rick.
Thanks a lot, Davey.
Putting the 2 motos together, here's how the overall looks. Ricky Carmichael, David Villeman, and Mike LaRocco on the podium. And for Mike, it's his 2nd podium in the last 3 races. Davey Combs is with him now.
Mike, that was a good second moto. You got an okay start, but it's tough to catch Carmichael and those guys when they start out ahead of you.
Yeah, he got both hole shots, and you know, I never really seen him, never really seen the lines he was taking, and he got away. So pretty much everybody rode their own race today, and you know, my AMSOIL competition accessories Honda worked well. I was just stuck back there in 3rd.
2 races to go in the season. Can you get that overall win before the year's out?
I'm working on it. Like I said, my bike's working well. I just got to get a little bit better start and you know, run Ricky's pace. He's setting the pace, and I just got to get up there with him.
Good job today.
So with 2 more events, 4 motos remaining on the season, Ricky Carmichael now takes a 40-point lead in the 250 points race over Sebastian Tortelli. Momentum? Boy, it's on that green bike side.
That'd be an understatement. Ricky said he was going to win the outdoor series, and he has proven it. There's no way Tortelli can come back unless Ricky doesn't show up for the last 2 races.
All the suspense coming down to the end of the season is in the 125s points race.
And I really didn't think that would happen, but what a change today. Ron Cotta having a little bit of trouble with his knee with bad starts, and Travis did what he had to do to tighten it up. Now it's going down to the wire.
A great day of racing and a fantastic crowd.